Kody Brown refuses to cut off Robyn to have relationships with his children. Kody Brown is willing to have relationships with his children again, but not at the expense of losing his wife, Robyn. In Sunday's episode of Sister Wives, Kody talked about his broken relationships with most of his 18 children. Kody admitted that he needs a lot of attention. Now that he's a monogamist, Kody only gets attention from one wife, not 4. However, he noted, "My children will always be my children, and the door will always be open to them. They've got to come through that door," he added. Kody won't let go of Robyn's hand to welcome his children back into his life. Although Kody is open to reconciling with his kids, he made it pretty clear his offer comes as a package deal. Either they accept him with Robyn by his side, or the deal is off. "I'm going to be holding a hand out for that. But I'm going to be holding this hand that's next to me, and I won't let go of that hand," Kody continued. "I will not cut off Robyn to have a relationship with my children," he confessed. Robyn chose to marry Kody because of her belief and testimony. Kody and Robyn's relationship is contentious among Sister Wives viewers and his ex-wives alike. Robyn joined the Brown family in 2010, and ever since, there has been chatter online that she plotted to force her sister wives out so she could have Kody all to herself. According to a tweet from 2021, Robyn married Kody because she had a belief in celestial plural marriage and had a testimony that she belonged in Kody's family, calling it a choice. Either way, Robyn became Kody's sole wife, whether or not she intended it that way. Robyn maintains that she still dreams of living plural marriage and wants Kody to reconcile with Janelle. But those dreams are merely that, wishful thinking, because neither of those is ever going to happen. Janelle called out Kody for letting Robyn control his decisions. Janelle admitted this season on Sister Wives that she thinks it's a shame that Kody could be that controlled by Robyn and try to keep their relationship alive despite it no longer working. But if she has that much control over him, that's great, Janelle admitted. They can have that. Kody doesn't seem to mind monogamy with Robyn. Kody seems elated to be a monogamist nowadays, and he's made it clear that he and Janelle will never kiss and make up. Cristin and Meri have already officially moved on, with Cristin remarrying David Woolley and Meri being granted a release from their church, unbinding herself and Kody as husband and wife. Kody described his and Meri's early years as hard beginnings, adding that they had a hard middle and a hard end to their marriage. As far as he's concerned, Kody claims he's resolved with Cristin moving on and getting remarried. However, whether or not his statements are genuine may be another story. For her part, Robyn made her feelings quite clear with her sneering statements during a scene from episode 17. "Aren't we just so happy for them?" Robyn asked Kody, her statement dripping with sarcasm. "We're just so happy for them. We just want Cristin to be happy. That's what we want, right?" Kody Brown leaned back in his chair, a frown deepening the lines on his face. The familiar chaos of his once bustling household had been reduced to an almost eerie silence, save for the faint sound of Robyn humming in the kitchen. He rubbed his temples, staring at his phone, which showed missed calls from several of his older children. A text from Janelle sat unread, its preview accusing him of avoiding yet another family meeting. For months, the tension had been escalating. Cristin, Janelle, and even Meri, who had long endured Kody's emotional distance, had grown increasingly vocal about his priorities. His children, now scattered across the country, had joined the chorus, demanding his time, attention, and accountability. Yet, every plea seemed to collide with an immovable wall. Robyn. Robyn, seated across from him with a mug of tea, noticed his agitation. "What's on your mind?" she asked, her voice soft but laced with curiosity. He hesitated, the words forming a knot in his throat. "The kids want me to spend more time with them," he finally said. "They think I'm choosing you over them." Robyn's brow furrowed. "That's not fair," she replied, her tone defensive. "We've been through so much together, Kody. They don't understand what it's like to build a life in this house with all the sacrifices we've made." Kody nodded, grateful for her support, but he couldn't ignore the echo of his children's voices in his mind. Garrison's blunt accusation, "You've abandoned us," hit him hardest. He dismissed it at the time, chalking it up to youthful rebellion, but now it lingered like a wound that refused to heal. Cristin had been the first to confront him. "Kody, they need you," she'd said during their last phone call. "Gwendolyn's getting married, Peyton's starting a new job, Isabel's still recovering from the surgery. And truly, she barely sees you anymore." He'd promised to do better, but the promise felt hollow, even to him. Every attempt to bridge the gap seemed to falter under the weight of his commitment to Robyn and her children. The others saw it as favoritism. He saw it as loyalty. "They don't understand how much I've sacrificed," he muttered, more to himself than to Robyn. "Exactly," she agreed, placing a hand on his arm. "You've been pulled in 100 directions for years, and now that you're finally prioritizing stability, they're upset? That's not fair to you." But was it stability, or was it something else? He lost track of the answer somewhere along the way. What he knew for certain was that his relationships with his older children were deteriorating, and the blame was squarely aimed at his unwavering devotion to Robyn. The next family meeting was held over Zoom, a compromise to accommodate the scattered locations of his children. The grid of faces, some tense, others indifferent, filled the screen as Kody logged in, flanked by Robyn. Janelle's face was tight with frustration. Cristin's eyes betrayed a mix of sadness and determination, and Mary sat quietly, her expression unreadable. "Dad," Maddie began, her voice firm but not unkind, "we're not asking you to choose. We're asking you to balance. We want you to be part of our lives too, not just Robyn's." "I am balancing," Kody replied defensively. "Do you think it's easy managing relationships with all of you? I've been doing my best for years." "Your best hasn't included us lately," Garrison interjected. "You're always at Robyn's house. When was the last time you visited Janelle or even called Isabel?" Kody bristled. "I'm one person. I can't be everywhere at once." Cristin's voice cut through the tension. "No one's asking you to be everywhere, Kody, but you're not even trying. It's like you've given up on the rest of us." Robyn, who had remained silent until now, leaned forward. "That's not fair," she said, her tone measured but resolute. "Kody loves all of you. Just because he spends more time here doesn't mean he doesn't care." "It's not about love," Isabel countered, her voice trembling. "It's about showing up. You didn't even come to my surgery, Dad, and now you're saying you're too busy to visit. It's always an excuse." Kody opened his mouth to respond but found himself at a loss. The truth was, he couldn't remember the last time he'd made a genuine effort to connect with his children outside of Robyn's household. The realization was as uncomfortable as it was undeniable. I don't know what you all want from me," he finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. Cristin's eyes softened, though her resolve remained. "We want you to show up, Kody, not just for Robyn, but for all of us. For the kids, they deserve that much." The meeting ended on a somber note, leaving Kody alone with his thoughts. Robyn tried to console him, but her words felt like echoes in an empty room. That night, as he lay in bed, he replayed the conversation over and over. The image of Isabel's tearful face haunted him. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure continued to mount. Each call from his children brought another layer of guilt, but every time he considered making a change, he found himself hesitating. Cutting back his time with Robyn felt like betraying her, and yet, holding onto this dynamic felt like losing everyone else. One evening, Janelle confronted him in person. Standing in the driveway of her modest home, she looked him square in the eye. "Kody, you need to decide what kind of father you want to be. Because right now, you're losing them. And once they're gone, you won't get them back." Her words stayed with him long after she'd gone back inside. He knew she was right, but the path forward remained unclear. To shift his focus away from Robyn felt impossible, and yet, continuing down this road seemed equally untenable. For now, he stood in the middle of his fractured world, unwilling to cut off Robyn, but unable to ignore the growing distance between him and his children. And as the days passed, Kody Brown began to realize that the choices he refused to make might ultimately be the ones that defined him.